Welcome to the Stoic Quotient. Today, let's look into the eyes we refuse to meet. Have you ever looked into someone's eyes and felt a flicker of something ancient? Not attraction, not lust, but recognition, a knowing, a trembling of the soul that whispered, I see you, and I fear you, because you remind me of myself. We walk through this world dressed in masks, hungry to be loved, but terrified to be known. We seduce, we perform, we pretend, all to avoid the simple, terrifying act of being seen. This is not a love story. This is a truth story. And if you're ready, let's begin. There is a strange dance we all perform, a performance dressed up as love. We call it dating, we call it chemistry. We swipe, we match, we flirt, we touch. But how often do we see, really see, not the body, not the style, not the voice dripping with confidence or charm, but the soul beneath the mask? We live in a world that teaches us how to attract, but not how to connect. We're taught how to pose, how to perform, how to make someone want us. But rarely are we taught how to let someone see us. And so we wander from one connection to another, seduced by the shape of the container, afraid to taste what's inside. We love with our eyes half closed. We fear opening them all the way, because when you look someone in the eyes, when you really look, you don't just see them, you see yourself. It begins innocently enough, a glance, a curve, a voice, a vibe, an energetic pull dressed up as fate. We say, there's something about them. But what we often mean is, there's something they awaken in my fantasy. The image we carry of who they could be, of who we could become with them. We don't fall for people. We fall for the idea of them. We fall for the part of us that wants to be seen, to be touched, to be adored, to feel like we matter. And so we chase reflections, not reality. We fall in love with how someone makes us feel, not with who they are. We confuse chemistry with compatibility, attraction with alignment, and when the spark begins to fade, we call it love lost, when maybe it was never love at all, just a projection, just a performance, just a people trying not to feel alone. There is something sacred about eye contact. Not the quick glance, not the seductive stare, but the stillness, the being with, the silence between souls. To look into someone's eyes and not look away is to enter dangerous territory, not because the other person is dangerous, but because they are real, and realness breaks the spell. It pierces the illusion. It demands that we, too, become real, that we say we want intimacy. But the truth is, we're terrified of being seen. We fear what they might find in us. Our wounds, our contradictions, our longing to be loved clashing against our fear of love itself. So we avert our gaze. We reach for the body, not the soul. We ask for connection, but keep our armor on. We crave depth, but swim in the shallow end, because depth requires surrender, and we don't know how to surrender. We only know how to perform. When the truth gets too close, we run. We don't always know why. We just feel the tension rise, the discomfort, the trigger. The parts of us that were never loved as children begin to panic. What if they see the parts I hide? What if they don't love the real me? What if they do and I don't know how to receive it? So we sabotage, we pick fights, we lose interest. We convince ourselves they're too much, or not enough, but more often than not, what we're walking away from isn't them, it's the mirror they held up. We walk away from the invitation to be seen, to be vulnerable, to dissolve the ego and meet in truth. We walk away from ourselves because real connection requires a death, the death of the mask, the death of control, the death of who we pretend to be. And we're not ready to die, so we go back to the game, to the apps, to the chase, to the same old patterns with different faces. And we wonder why it never feels like love. Real intimacy is not sexy. Not at first. It's raw, awkward, uncomfortable. Uncomfortable UNPOLIS. It's being seen on the days you feel unworthy. It's hearing someone say, "I see you and I'm not going anywhere." It's being witnessed in your silence, in your darkness, in your joy and your shame. Real intimacy isn't found in fireworks. It's found in the quiet moments, the stillness, the eye contact that lingers, the breath shared in presence. It's not about finding someone who checks all the boxes. It's about meeting someone who dissolves the boxes entirely. It's not about fixing each other. It's about holding space for each other to unfold. It's not about completing each other. It's about witnessing each other's wholeness. But to reach that, we must be willing to burn everything that's false. So here is the invitation. Next time you feel drawn to someone, pause, not to judge, not to analyze, but to see. Look into their eyes, not with expectation, but with curiosity. Not with lust, but with presence. Ask yourself, can I sit with this soul, even if they never become what I imagined? Can I let them see me, even if what they find is messy? Can I stay, even when the masks fall off? Because real love doesn't come from seduction. It comes from surrender. It begins where the performance ends, where the eyes no longer fear being seen, where two people meet not as ideas, not as roles, but as truth. And truth is terrifying, but it is also the most beautiful thing we'll ever know. Maybe that's why we avoid the eyes, because we know they hold too much, too many answers, too many questions, too much of what we've been running from. But maybe, just maybe, if we find the courage to look, to really look, we'll finally meet the love we were never brave enough to find. Not out there, but in here, in the mirror, in the stillness, in the eyes we once refused to meet. Look, see, be seen. We've spent lifetimes avoiding the truth, running from the mirror, chasing bodies, fleeing souls, mistaking intensity for intimacy and comfort for connection. But something is shifting. A new kind of love is being born, not based in control, but in consciousness. Not in seduction, but in stillness. Not in what we can get, but in what we are willing to reveal. The real question isn't, will they love me if they see me? The real question is, will you? Because until we meet ourselves with open eyes, we will keep walking past the very thing we long for most. So pause, breathe, look, and when you meet someone's gaze, don't just glance. Stay, because the eyes are the door to everything. If this message moved something in you, let it settle, let it stir, and when you're ready, share this with someone who needs to remember what love really is. Thanks for watching.